Hi there, guys. So I'm back with another video today. And today I want to talk about music and how it is so big in, our daily lives, and how it's just one of the most common things that we usually talk about and build relationships or friendships, and just something that we can all relate with. So I do understand music as a Muslim, of course, so I'm not supposed to listen to music. And a lot of people still listen to it, so a lot of Muslims still listen to it. I know it's looked down upon. And, personally, I'm not going to say and lie and say, I don't listen to music and stuff. So I do listen to music. And at times, I don't like to relax to it, if that makes sense. So I just like to sort of bop my head to it and just listen to the actual rhythm, beat. So I'm not a person that focuses too much on the lyrics. So lyrics, of course, has the value on the actual music, so the message that's being said. But for me, I'm more of a rhythm person, and how the whole mood, how it puts you in a different sort of mindset. And before, I used to listen to music like, well, let's say 2006 to 2005 is when I first listened to music. And I remember I was listening to it at home. It was hip hop, it was T-Pain, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne, those legendary artists that are still up there. But as time, passes, they still have their touch, but they lose their audience because music is evolving just like anything else in life, and there's a new sound. As most of you are aware, at least the people that listen to hip hop and stuff, there's been a new sort of genre that was basically put onto the scene, and it's the drill music, the Chicago drill music, and it was very heavily, influenced by actual rap, early 2000s rap itself, with a sort of a techno beat or a rhythm beat with it. And Chicago itself are the first, first people, Chicagians, or as I like to say, Chicago State is the first that came up with the drill music, and then London took it on, New York took on, and so forth, and then it became global. But that goes to show how things spread, especially with music. It starts off in one region, and it's with a demographic of people, and then it goes into culture. So the culture that drill music had at this time, around I'd say 2010, 11ish, is when drill music started to emerge, and the culture had, so each genre, like I said, has a sort of different dressing sort of culture that comes along with the music itself. And drill music is, your typical cap, and that just is the emblem or logo for all hip hop music. So a cap, a sort of a bomber jacket. So if you know those puffy ones that make you look like some Eskimo, like a juggernaut. So it's literally that, and the brands as well are like True Religion, Ralph Lauren, and Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all of these, generic rich people items that are used in the music culture, and of course in the drill culture as well. So people actually live this culture, like in the hoods, in the, let's say, the extremely impoverished areas in America, even in the UK. And it's just sort of, how drill music is pictured. So let's branch out first. And, as I said, the first time I listened to music was hip hop. And after that, I actually started to get in contact and, reconnect with the origins of hip hop. And that's actually rap music. So I began listening to Tupac and Biggie around 2009ish. And back then, the music they made in the 90s and maybe even the late 80s, now we're pushing back to say like Eazy-E, Dr. Dre. Actually, Dr. Dre might not have been all the way back in the 80s, but definitely Eazy-E. And the message that they were carrying back then, so it wasn't sort of as raw as it is today. like, for example, drill music, anything else is like they prefer the diss side of it. So they'll diss someone that died in your family, a close friend of yours, and just completely disrespect them. But back then, it would be more of, as a message, as a lifestyle. And it will be very catchy as well, so the tone will be different. And they'll be glamorizing, of course, the, smoke, let it be drugs, all of these things, girls, clubs, fast cars, and all of that stuff. But I reconnected with it, and then from there on, like I said, 08, 09, I started to, indulge in some Eminem, and then I just sort of branched out from there. And then I was sort of interested with, like I said, I like the rhythm of music and stuff, and then I tried some Lady Gaga. I don't know if I'm saying that right, with a British accent, they say it with Lady Gaga or Lady Gaga, Anyways, I started listening to her, I started listening to Michael Jackson, I started listening to, different, more tasteful music that's more accepted in different, areas in the world. If you listen to rap music and things that have a dark message behind it, it's not going to do numbers as in on the world music charts or appeal to everyone, and that's understandable. But I branched out to then reggae music, and I prefer the reggae music, the slow sort of tone, the high sort of music where you can just zone out when you smoke and whatnot and just relax to it, vibe out to it. And then I actually dibbled and dabbed with a few of, like Katy Perry, who else? Not what was her name again? Shirley Cole. The music that a lot of the people don't like to admit, but I know a lot of you lot used to listen to it back in the day. So yeah, definitely music has a sort of a punch to it. It can either, push you further in life in the sense as, if you're doing your typical hood activities, as I'd like to say from the top on. If you listen to drill music, you'll be more, feeling empowered, if that makes sense. And if you're going to, chase life from a more happy sort of position, then you'll be listening to the mainstream artists because, they're not going to talk about things that are very debatable or things that are seen as off topic. So it's so mainstream, and it's usually the upbeat tempo, and it's more so used in your daily, corporate, places, such as, like work. Whenever you go to work, like if you work in an office, if you work in a warehouse, if you work in a retail place, if you work in a garage, any sort of building, even construction site workers, so they're famous for having their radio blasting, whether they're on the streets or far off into, whatever site they're working on. You're going to be hearing the mainstream music, and it's more of the accepted type of noise, shall I say, to your ears in our society. So, as a rebel, and if you're into the electric music, the metal music, the goth music, and if you're into the rap music, those two divide. And because the gothic type of music is more so to do with emotions and just rawness, they don't really have a message, but they do have a message, if that makes sense. And the message is basically feeling exactly how they feel. So literally is the emotion that's just more so to do with the gothic one. And the rap music is more so to do with, a vibe and sort of a persona that you're trying to build for the audience and as a rapper yourself. So the one that actually, will surpass out of the two, of course, is your typical radio music. Now, if I think about it, within the next few years, definitely there will be a new genre. And I don't mean like a brand new genre, like, say, like blues, jazz, nothing like that. But there's going to be, how there's drill noise, like I said before, there's definitely going to be a different version. And especially with the rap music, it's people are keep finding new styles. People are trying to, impress people when it comes to that aspect of the world. And without a say, there's going to be a new sort of vibe. And I believe it's going to be, of course, something that's influenced by short videos. So TikTok comes into play, Facebook, Instagram, all of these new, even YouTube itself comes into part of the influence. So nowadays people are listening to more like, fast music, but of course that's the only time limit that you've got on these applications. But it's the new upcoming generation that like the sort of the beats, and they like the songs that show a bit of emotion and that you can dance with as well. And within the last few years, of course, there's been a lot of one-hit wonders, and they seem to go viral. So people are now not caring about the artists themselves, but the actual, the sound that's going viral, and just chasing down the next one and next one. So no one's really loyal. So the next sort of thing to bloom out from the music industry, in the rap sense at least, I believe, is definitely not someone specific, but it will be someone that's able to merge, shapeshift into different sort of, how shall I say it, into a catchy or viral song. So if an artist comes out or an existing one comes out and they make several catchy, mainstream music that's appealing to the new generation, and once they get the hang of that, I think they will definitely blow. And with the new generation, you've got to be able to keep up with the dress sense. Here in the UK, you've got to wear your typical, what is it? It's the Nike Tech and bomber jacket, and then hood rich, wear clean Air Forces, that typical, that, like, I'm that clean hood boy. So it's literally that. And once you've got that into your music videos, promoting that at the same time, and you're making these, music with the lyrics of like, that's how I'm feeling, that's what I'm doing, or, what I mean, exactly, putting yourself out there, is going to be replayed several times until it goes viral. And that will definitely put you on the map, regardless of who you are. So these new generation, youngers, they do not discriminate. And in general, music is nice. But as I said at the start of this video, I am trying to become a better practicing Muslim. So I will try to abide by the, Islamic laws more, hopefully. And I will be trying. But it's been an interesting journey, with the music world, discovering from the early 2000s or mid 2000s all the way to now. So around 15, 16 years. Actually, why am I saying 15 years? 20 years plus of, being a music connoisseur. Look at me. But anyways, that's my little dissection into the music world. I know I didn't get into it, of course. With these vlogs I'd make, I like them to be around 10 to 15 minutes. So 15 minutes if it's really interesting. But YouTube won't allow me to upload a video longer than 14 to 15 minutes. So that's why I like to keep it around the 30-minute mark or so. So let me know if you'd like me to go into this in more depth. I will be making reels as well, so I want to be more engaged with you lot as well. And please share my video with a friend or two, even with a family member, and let me know of your opinion and what you listen to as well. But without any further ado, it's a beautiful Thursday evening, and I'll end the vlog right here. So enjoy your day, night, wherever you are, and always remember, keep a positive attitude, enjoy your day, and stay out of trouble. Take care, guys.